What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live stream.
What's happening, y'all?
Another day of paradise, man. It's been a crazy week. I keep forgetting today's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday.
No, no.
The holiday weeks always kind of screw things up because I always get lazy because, like, how our company works
Yeah.
is you still have to work 40 hours to get overtime. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm not working 40 hours plus 8 hours holiday to get overtime. So I was like, I try to coast, but like that went out the window today. I was like 11 hours yesterday, 12 hours a day. Tomorrow I got a pretty easy day. I got to finish up a install, which is pretty much just starting it up, make sure it runs, and then I got to drive 2 hours to do like 6 site surveys for Unox combi ovens for a school
Oh, okay.
district, and so it is what it is. How was your week?
Not too bad. Just after the holiday weekends, like we get those back-to-back weekend. It's hard to like go from being at home and chilling and then getting back into like the work grind. But I mean, it's kind of been one of those weeks where it's some days were all right. I started the day off Tuesday with like a 12-hour day, so I was like, great, it's gonna be one of those weeks. So it's been like a Murphy's Law week, but it
Oh
is what
yeah,
it is, you know.
that's every week. I mean, we're still booked out a week out right now, and ooh, better mute this. But we're still booked out a week, but it's just like it's never ending, man. It's like we're
Yeah,
still turning work away. It's crazy. They're trying
yeah.
to do some restructuring stuff and trying to figure out how they want to do some things, and we'll see how it goes. I'm
Like,
interested to see how it goes, but I'm kind of nervous to see how it goes too. So,
what do you mean, like restructuring with like the?
billing and stuff. It's
Hmm,
yearly stuff every company does. They look at rates, they look at that kind of stuff, and they go from there. So it's normal stuff. It's always kind of weird on my end.
yeah,
I mean, I already got customers that already think we're too expensive or whatever, but yet they still call us, and then it's weird.
yeah. I gotcha. But too expensive though at this rate. I mean, I guess some people are percentage more above everyone else, but I feel like now it's not a level playing field, but almost. I feel like there's no one really cheap, and
No, I mean the cheap guys are the one-off guys, and
yeah,
and I'm not knocking those guys. People got to start somewhere, so you know, and maybe they have a goal to be big one day, but
yeah,
they're starting off on their own, and they can underbid all these big companies. Well, it's always they don't have the overhead. I mean, look at if I was going on my own, I'd have a van payment, insurance. I'd work on my barn, so it's just part of my house. I guess I could write that payment off. I guess but
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't have that much overhead. I could go out for I don't know, probably $85 an hour and just kill and probably
yeah.
do all right. But I mean, that's not what I want to do currently. I mean, who's to say in 5 years I don't be that mindset? But right now, I mean, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy, working for General Parts. General Parts has my back. General Parts supports me in all these crazy endeavors I do. So I really can't, you know, turn my back on them. I mean,
No, I'm kind of from the same boat too. I mean, I've always everyone thinks about it in the trades, but and I'd worked with a couple of companies that I didn't see myself at for a while, but now I'm somewhere that has my back, and my future is pretty bright, and I've been supported in a ton of ways. So it's like, yeah, you could go off on your own, but you're not going to have any support. So
yeah, it's weird. So I mean, and even some manufacturers won't deal with one-off guys that aren't trained and that kind of stuff. So it's a delicate balance. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that does it. I mean,
yeah,
if you want to start your own thing and you want to grow and be big, hey, I mean, more power to you. There's plenty of work out there. I
yeah,
mean, we turn stuff away every day. So,
oh yeah, there's
like,
plenty of work to be made.
my biggest deal would be collecting. I wouldn't want to collect. I mean, I feel bad. You go into these one-off restaurants. So they got one restaurant, and the owner and his wife's in there working. They're the only two people.
Yeah,
You're like, man, you guys aren't making no money. And you give them this $1,000, $1,500 bill, and you just like, it's like, well, are we going to be able to eat? Are we going to be able to pay our employees? Are we going to be able to pay ourselves this month? It's just like,
uh,
it's heartbreaking. I mean, people automatically assume because someone owns a restaurant they're rich. I'm like, that's the least of it. I mean,
exactly, because they're still growing their business too. I just had that same thing happen to me about a week ago. There was a foul thermostat on Baker's Pride electric pizza oven.
mm-hmm.
It's just a countertop. And I mean, I had to give them the quote on the price, and man, that thing's outrageous. It kind of is what it is thing. And they're moving locations and all that stuff. So right now they're kind of in like a transition, but they got to fix certain things. And, it's hard to do. And I could imagine doing that like all the time. Like mega, like places where you can give the invoice to your office and they send it to their corporation headquarters, it's kind of different because it's out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
But once you're on the ground floor, it's, you know, you kind of feel bad a little bit.
Yeah. It's definitely a struggle. I mean, so I try to do what I can for the people at mom and pop places. I mean, I get it. We go in there a lot of times, it's called in as warranty and you get there, it's a gas pressure issue. So, the manufacturer's going to kick it back. So you're trying to hurry up and get out of there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get billed to them, but you got to try to explain it to them or try to take care of them. And you're like, what do I do? So.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, a lot of those places get real successful real fast, but I mean, they're all still like in the early grind of it. So.
Yeah. The concepts is what takes off, like the crazy, weird concepts. But you got to watch out. There's a lot of companies that actually start restaurant concepts up, and they'll run them for a year to 18 months because they know that that's going to be the biggest producing time that restaurant ever has, and they will sell it off to an individual.
Yeah.
And individuals, they see that year to 18 months, like, oh, this is going to be great. And then all of a sudden, that concept's old news, and it falls on its face, and all of a sudden, these people are up to their eyeballs in debt with a failing concept because it was cool when it opened up, but now, 2 or 3 years later, no one cares about it anymore. It's just weird.
Exactly. I saw that same thing happen. There was a restaurant here locally, and it was carnival food. Like, it was like corn dogs and funnel cakes and stuff you would get at a fair.
Yeah.
And it did well for about a year, and then it switched to management, and then in 2 months it just died.
That's what they did. They sold it off. So a company would start it, and they take all that big money up front. They're making money hand over fist. They're just paying the bills. They're not paying it off or anything. They're just taking all the profits, and then they start to see it start to trend down, sell it. Someone sees all these big numbers. Oh, this thing's great, and then they're just saddled with it. It's a sad thing, but I mean that's business.
Yeah, it's the concept. A lot of concepts. It's hard to. I mean, it's simplicity is what makes it. I think like a good baseline concept is even in business too. Like all around, that's kind of what makes it consistent and simple.
So, all right, what I want to talk about tonight. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. I mean, typical thing. I'm not into resolutions, but I'm trying to set some goals for myself this year. Some goals for my personal, some goals for my work life, and then some goals for my podcast, social media stuff. So I'm going to have Dusty on. I gave him heads up to make sure he could prepare and take some notes.
I remember this time.
He always messages me, hey, I got this idea. I had all these great ideas, but I forgot them. So I'm like, you got to carry a notebook. Text it to me as soon as you hear it. I mean, as soon as you think it. Voice a text and something. Put it in writing so we can get this stuff up and going. So
exactly.
I appreciate everybody stopping by. We got a pretty good crowd in here tonight. We got Zach Adams, EC2Fix, Mega Broke, Zach Silky. We got Taz Sutherland in the house. Taz is a cool dude. He's a facilities guy for a big giant box store. It's all across the country. He's a good guy. So what's EC says? 80% attrition rate within the first year of new startups. Yep, that's the same thing, man. Like they get big and then they sell off and they die. So, all right, on to the goals. So I've got a book. I put my sticker on there. I gotta show it off whenever I can. So what I've done this year is I'm trying to keep them in front of me. So I have listed my personal goals for the year, and I'll just go through them real quick. Nothing major. My personal goals is always to lose weight. So that's to get in better shape, lose some weight, lift, do what I can to lose some weight. I beat this horse to death, dude. I've had this roller coaster of like 100 pounds for the last 6 years. And I've gotten back up. Not as bad as I was, but I got up more than I want to be. So I'm back in the gym every morning. I try to get up at 4 in the morning and go work out. If that doesn't happen, like today, I got up at 4 in the morning and I had to go to work. But I came home after work and I did go out and work out before I got on here. So, I'm trying to work out at least 30 minutes a day, 30 to 45 minutes a day. Sometimes I split it up in half. Sometimes I'll work out in the morning. I'll lift weights and then I'll come home and I'll walk. Got a treadmill out in the barn, TV. I'll play some music or I'll play a podcast or an audiobook and I'll walk and listen to that. So, I mean, that's just part of it. And then I want to be a more positive person. In the past, I've been negative. I've attacked people online. I've attacked people on social media. I've attacked people in real life. And I've learned, I had a friend reach out to me, Rich Griffin. He works for Fry Masters, a great guy, a great mentor. He's helped me out a ton. One day I used to lash out on Facebook. I just started throwing a fit, talking crap about my employer. And it wasn't them. I was just in a bad mood. And he messaged me. He's like, dude, you got to stop. He's like, this is no way to live your life. He's like, you're not this miserable person. You got to stop doing this crap. And dude, I sat there and I literally broke into tears. And I was thinking about it, and I quit doing that stuff online. I started being more positive, not as positive as I should be, but more positive. And things started happening. My career started to explode, get better. I started doing more things. I started getting involved with Cephesa. I started getting involved in teaching. It's just, everything's kind of compounded and grew, and it's actually made a huge difference. So I want to be even more positive. I still have days where I dwell on stupid stuff, and I'm trying not to do that. So it's just a constant battle to be a more positive person and look out. So, and then another thing for just personal is I want to read a little bit every day, or listen to an audiobook, just some self-help stuff, nothing major. So you got any personal goals for this year?
Yeah, I have a couple. I usually keep it short every year so I can really focus on each one.
Yeah.
Obviously staying positive is huge. I've been trying to do that the past few years. And just kind of, I'm a firm believer of if your inner self will affect your energy around you. And that sounds cheesy and lame, but my wife actually tells me that all the time.
Oh, that's huge, dude. It's huge.
I'll push myself like, okay, the day's screwed, stuff's going haywire, but I'm just gonna, I can't do anything about it. Just gotta keep moving on. And then you'll see the stuff kind of just smooth itself out. And then in life itself, you can speak a lot of things into existence, and just that positive mental attitude and that outlook can really flip the script when it comes to that. And I try to do that the past couple of years, and that's another big thing this year. Just trying to had a really good year last year with it, just try to stay positive. Personal life, as a husband, a father, and as an employee, as a technician. So moving forward on that. And also I learned a lot last year book wise, education wise. I learned a lot. And this year I really want to focus on actually putting that knowledge that I've learned to practice and using it in the field and pretty much making it come to life. And that's a huge thing for me this year, just to become a better technician in that way. Because I read a ton of books last year. I went to the Cephesa class, I get every knowledge, every bit of knowledge I can get. But, you get to the point where you try to absorb some of that stuff, and then it's hard to kind of put it in practice. So huge year this year. I want to put all that stuff into practice. And also, I guess it's personal, but also work. I like to make about 10% more money-wise this year. That's my goal. I did a lot better than I was going to do last year. So I think I can push that up to increase about 10%. So
yeah, you're on your way. We had a talk a couple months ago. So you're on your way. I'm proud of you, man. You like you said, you do stay positive all the time, even when you're getting beat up on something, man. You're always positive, upbeat about it. So that's what I like about you. You're always willing to try it, even though you may have not seen it or it's just beating you up, but you're not going to give up. You've got that can-do attitude. So I really appreciate that about you, man.
Appreciate that, man. And that's kind of what I try to be. And a lot of situations in this trade, I mean, you just kind of have to be that way. I've never done it before, but hey, we'll try it today. And I think I've talked to you on a lot of jobs. I'm like, dude, this is nuts. So you just got to kind of buckle down and do it. And I plan on staying that way, doing more things, learning more things. I don't want to turn anything away. So, I mean, I appreciate that, hearing that, because some days I'm like, man, I'm so negative.
Dude, I get the same way, man. I get to where I can't fix something and it dwells and I beat up on myself. I have ADHD. I'm not going to lie. I've taken some stuff for it. It just, I don't like what it does to me. So I just can't do it. And my career has kind of lended myself to, to solving a lot of that issues, because I'm always doing something different. I'm always working with my hands. I'm always tinkering. So it's helped out. But like one of my problems with my ADHD is I will hyper focus on something so small and minute. Like I'll get out of my van and I'll step on a rock, or my shoe's untied and I got to tie my boot and I'm just mad. And I focus on that and I let it spiral out of control. So that's my thing. I'm trying to the small stuff, not sweat the small stuff, and
exactly.
So it's all part of it. So,
which is huge too, because small stuff makes up 90% of your day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, realistically, most of the stuff that's going to stress someone out in the day is small stuff. Things you can't really do anything about. And that remaining part of the day are going to be big problems. But if you're focused on the small stuff, man, that 10% of real issues in the day, you have no energy for it.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So that's and I worked on it last year, and I'm just trying to work on more this year. It's it's all about how you word things. I mean, as cheesy as it sounds, but it's how you word things. I have to go to work, or I get to go to work. There's a lot of people that struggle that aren't making what they need to make. I'm very fortunate that I've been blessed with a lot of stuff from my career and it's work. So I mean,
Yeah.
you got to work at it. It pays off in the long run, especially if you have an employer that looks out for you, takes care of you. I mean, it's worth it in the long run. So I like Dylan Johnson. He said growth is my word for the new year. Yeah, that's a great point. Growth is the most important thing this year. My little slogan for this year is going to be the year of the food service tech. I'm going to try to promote us to get us up there with those guys, man. You get those big accounts for electricians and plumbers and HVAC guys. I'm trying to make us even with them, if not better than them. So I'm just trying to put us up on top. So I've got a lot of people behind me, even a lot of big name HVAC guys want to talk to me and want to do some stuff with me. So that's going to be coming up. So,
which I think is it just needed a push behind it. Like my GM, I think when we did that first podcast, he like pulled me aside and was like, man, that's awesome what he's doing and what you guys did, and it's cool to shed light on it, because for a while, like it's just almost one of those things, if you don't know about it, you just don't know about it. Mm-hmm. It's not that it's not appealing or satisfying. It's just that a lot of people don't think about who fixes that fryer, who fixes that oven. But we do everything that everyone else does. But we do it better and we're cooler about it.
Yeah, we got to know more. We do it all plus more. So it's definitely a cool career, man. I never thought I'd end up doing this. Like I came out of school as an electrician. I thought I was going to do the rest of my life. I had a goal. I was going to top out in the union. I was going to buy a Corvette and a house, and I did nothing. I left the union, went non-union, ended up here, and I'm doing just fine. I don't have the Corvette and house, but I've got a big dumb Jeep and a big barn and a wife and a great family, so I can't complain there.
There you go. Jeep probably better than a Corvette anyway.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's almost paid off. I get one more payment, and it's gonna be real fun. So.
That's another goal, 2023. Pay off your Jeep. Boom.
Yeah, I'm trying to pay off all my debt, but that'll never happen because I'm bad about making poor financial decisions. So, on to work. So my work goals this year. Ooh, that was loud. Just to learn more. I mean, it's my goal every year to learn as much as I can. Sometimes I take on too much, but I feel that if I lose that desire to learn or do more stuff, then I'm gonna get bored, and I don't want to be bored. I like the challenge, so I want to learn new things. I want to get some ice machine training. I've never had any formal ice machine training, man. As weird as it sounds, I've been doing refrigeration for 13 years now, and I've had zero formal ice machine training. Now I've done the ones where you go to like the big hotel and you sit there for half a day and they feed you, and it's like, oh, here's the manual and sell our ice machines. I've done that, and that's really nothing. I mean, it's just here's lunch, push ice machines, and here's a book if you need it, and that's about it. So I want to do some ice machine training. I want to develop some training procedures and some videos and modules and stuff. So I want to make some modules, some mock-up boards, and some videos and stuff that we can use inside of my company, and maybe I can show it on YouTube and stuff like that, just to help people understand some things that we run into. And then I want to be a better leader. I want to help develop the culture inside my office a little better. I want to help the guys improve and grow inside my office. I see a lot of guys, not just in my office, just in the field in general, they're complacent. They don't want to grow. They don't want to learn. And I think, technology changes so fast that we have to be able to learn and adapt and overcome. We can't just rely on what we did 16 years ago now. It's not going to happen. So I want to keep the guys up front. I want to keep them on their toes. I want to keep them learning. So I think if everyone's learning more, we're going to grow the market, grow my branch, and then also we can grow them as people and their bank accounts. I mean, just to be honest here, if you do better work, you're a better tech, you make more money. I mean, it's plain and simple. So that's it for my work goals. You got any work goals or?
Pretty much. I guess I addressed them. I jumped the gun on that one.
You're all right, man. That's informal. We're just hanging out talking tonight, dude.
Probably, like I said, I'd like to do, make some more money this year, increase it about 10%, which I kind of sat down and did the math on that and just see what I need to do. And that'll put me, where I need to be there, and also learn more and apply a lot of the knowledge that I know, and mainly just focus and become a more, I'm pretty thorough now, but a more efficient technician, get to where I'm not spending as much time on things and, getting kind of like a good smooth rhythm down on working on a lot of the stuff.
What's helped me with that is take the extra time, not really take the extra time, but like if you're working on a cooler and it's dropping temp and you're going to be a little while, take that time to put up your tools or take that time to look at another piece of equipment. Or if you see that something's not running right, go over and look at temperatures. You see a temperature gauge on that walk-in cooler, you walk by, you can't always trust that temperature gauge on the outside. It's there, but it's never right. So, if I see one that's wrong, I always open the cooler door and find one inside to try to see. And if you go inside and the one inside's off too, like, hey, you might want to take a look at this. And to catch it before it becomes a problem at 5 o'clock and the overtime guy is stuck with it. Maybe you're there at 9 in the morning and that walk-in cooler is 45, 50 degrees. You're like, man, this isn't right. And, if you're waiting on something else to come down, you got time. Look at the coil. Oh, the coil's iced up. Hey, get the manager. Hey, you might want to call us in. If we don't take care of it, or I can take care of it, or if you get it through a third party, call them and get it set up. And, we'll get to take care of it before it becomes an overtime issue. I'm already here on site. I can save you a little money because you're not paying a trip charge or, that kind of stuff. And a lot of times they'll go for it. So
exactly.
You got to just look around your surroundings. I mean, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I'll do that, man. Like I said, I want to apply a lot of that and just become more efficient, more valuable, because if, that's one of the goals of being a better technician is being more valuable. So 80% are water issues.
Yeah, ice machine's always 80% water. It's rarely a refrigeration issue. It's more, it's always water. It's always dirty. It's always lime scale. It's always slime. It's something else besides the thing. So Great Dane Farm has a question. Do you guys ever have problems getting back to places for part returns? My office is big on pushing new calls before part returns. Just curious. It comes or goes. It just depends on the customer and workload. I'm not going to lie. Certain customers have certain priority. Certain pieces of equipment have certain priority, that kind of stuff. So I don't really get to make that decision. I push the issue if it's a good customer or a good warranty line we do work for. But I don't get to make that decision most of the time. I'm just a technician. The office makes those decisions. I mean, I can kind of push and, try to get my way, but most of the time it doesn't work. So
yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I'll talk to, I just kind of keep that on, not really a schedule, but kind of like by priority. And if it's something that's urgent and they'll need it, just say, hey, as soon as we get these parts in, I need to go over here and do this. Or you talk to the management and, you just kind of gauge out, I guess, every situation. And like I said, I usually we get a lot of freedom. So like if we have to schedule something like, oh, the part's going to come in tomorrow, I have to be here Friday. They'll kind of let us do that. But sometimes when you get so jammed up with part returns, you got to the office will kind of set it out for us and, we go from there.
The good thing is we got a lot of trainees right now. So if it's something I feel comfortable with, like I'm 100% sure that's what it is. Like, we were changing those probes for the Pitcos. I was like, I gave my son my wrench bag and like he had his tools, because he didn't have wrenches at the time. I was like, here, have him change probes for 2 days, get us caught up, just get that out of the way, and it looks good because they cleared up a bunch of warranty work with Pitco. And, he's not doing stuff on his own. He's not riding with me. He gets bored riding with me. He rode with me the other day. We had to drive 2 hours and 45 minutes to work for 3 hours and drive 2 hours and 45 minutes to our next job. And he was just like, I'm sick of working with old people. I want to work with young people. And I was like, you picked the wrong career field, bud.
There's none in here, man.
Yeah.
No, that's a huge thing too. Like with this career field it's mostly older guys or, which is good because you get a lot of experience, but it's kind of wondering when this new generation's going to start coming in.
It's coming in, but they're not like the older guys. They don't want to work the 55 hours a week, 60 hours a week. So we're going to need more of them to make up the difference. But I think the younger guys are getting it. They don't want to work in the office. They don't want to work in a cubicle. They want to be out doing stuff. And, we're our own boss. Yeah, we have bosses, but most of the time I don't hear from my boss unless he has a question about billing or if I screw something up or someone else screws something up and I say, I'll fix it. So you're pretty much your own boss.
Yeah. Pretty much manage your own time. And, it's a lot of freedom that comes with this trade.
Uh-oh. He's glad to hear it's not Hobart thing. I didn't know who you worked for. So as long as it's Hobart, not with me. So we're good. Yeah. Matthew Ventosi, 80% of the field is over 50 years old. Oh, I guarantee if at least I'm 40 and the only person in my office, I got two guys in my office that are younger than me. One's 30. He just started a couple weeks ago. My son's 20. So I've been the youngest guy at my office, no matter where I've been at for years and years and years.
So like I said, the most people I've known like locally that do this, that work for our company are 53 and 56. So, or 55, 55, 53. So it's kind of the norm then.
So let's go to, I did the next one kind of lumped together, podcast and social, because really most of my social media is directed towards a podcast anymore. I got a personal Instagram that I rarely get on, which is a shame because I got a lot of friends on there. I just rarely get on there. So my Instagram is all work related, podcast related, and I've got the Facebook page and, stuff. So my goals for the podcast and social media is just to become a better public speaker. So I stumble a lot. I say a lot, especially in live places. Like, this isn't too bad because just me and you. I feel like me and you are just shooting the shit. We got people in here interacting and stuff, but I can, me and you talk text all the time, so I can just flow pretty easy. But I'm looking at taking some public speaking courses or doing some public speaking like stuff to get better. I've been asked to do some public speaking with some festive events, some other things, and I'm blown away that I was asked. Yeah. But I was like, man, I don't know if I can do it. I was gonna go do one in Vegas for some festive regional, and it didn't work out. I had some other stuff to do, so unfortunately, it just didn't work out. So that's one of them. I want to do better at videography. Like, I film everything vertical, and he starts filming everything horizontal. Like, I'm just a terrible person. So I got that GoPro. I think I'm gonna get a newer one because this one I hate it. So either get a newer camera or something. I've got a nice tripod. So I'm gonna try to do a better job videoing. I want to transition a lot of my YouTube videos to how-to or videos showing what I do. We're always gonna have the stream on there, but I want to add in, how-to videos or some cool stuff we see. So I just want to be a better videographer.
Which I think is huge, because when I first started doing this, I remember I was like scouring like YouTube and Google for videos, because you can find HVAC and refrigeration, but like there's nothing for cooking equipment. There are some like factory videos, but there's nothing out there. So that's a huge funnel right there.
Where are you at on the East Coast, Fantosi? Who do you work for, if you don't mind? I'm not going to get you in trouble or anything. I was just curious who you work for out there. So I am 32 years old, been in the field 4.5 years and love it. That's great, Mega Broke, man. It's a rewarding career. You can make a ton of money. Yeah, you got to put some time and effort in, but it's a great career. So we got EC2 Fix. He's got a 19-year-old apprentice, and he's 62. So the training kid excites me. Yeah, dude, I'm excited to see the kids learn and pick stuff up. My son, or I got another guy named Jake. I think he's maybe early 30s. He's pretty cool. So it's cool. Oh, my buddy Kellen's in here. Kellen's a great dude, man. So it's always glad to see my friends pop in. So some more podcasts and social media goals is I want to do a video every day, whether it be a longer format video or daily reel or short style video. Probably going to stick to the daily short and reel because I can just whip something up pretty quick. So, but that's my goal is I want to do one every single day for the year and see what comes about. I mean, I like doing it, and I got some programs where I can add some pretty cool. Well, I think they're cool. They're probably pretty cheesy to everybody else, but some little intros and outros and stuff. And I had a guy make me the intro music I use for the podcast. We go on. So he made that for me. He told me to make me some more videos. Not videos, but some more music if I wanted. So that's pretty cool.
So you know the guy who did the intro?
Yeah, the music, the not the original one, the one I use now is it's my wife's, one of her ex-coworkers' husband. He's in a band, and like he wrote that. He played it all. He did everything.
Oh, nice.
He made it all for me. I asked him, I was like, hey, I want something rock, I want something upbeat, and he's like, sent me that, and I was like, dude, that's amazing. It works out great. So
that's some serious riffs, man.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude, man. He loves music. He's a car salesman by day, and he writes music. Nice. Kellen's a good music dude too, man. He's rocking out on a guitar. So I want to be a positive example, and that's just more, positive. Just like my personal side, I want to carry it over to my work side and my social media and podcast side. So it's just be a positive example. A couple other things. I want the podcast to get sponsored. So I'm trying to look. I actually got some meetings set up for AHR. Hopefully, get some more. So, but I want us to get sponsored. I mean, if it at least helps buy equipment, or whatever. If we're going to an event or something, we can, do something. I don't know. I mean, I just want to, get to that level where we can talk to people about sponsorship, So, exactly. And then I wouldn't mind, becoming a brand ambassador. And same for you. I wouldn't mind seeing you hooked up with somebody. I do some stuff with RLS. That's not really formal, but I mean, they've taken care of me. So anytime I use their stuff, I put it out there. Anytime I see something of theirs, I reshare it. They're a great company. I do some stuff with Johnner that just started up. they do electrical tools, but they're primarily like a fiber or telecom stuff. But they have some electrical tools. I got some nice screwdrivers and stuff. They sent me a cable cutter. That was my video today. It's a compact cable cutter. And I was cutting stuff like 3/4 of an inch thick with it. Now I've got some big meat hooks for hands, so I do a lot of things I shouldn't. But so I do some stuff with them. So that's just my podcast social media goals.
Yeah. Oh, I hear that. No, the sponsorship thing is it's cool too, and brand ambassador. It's just part of. I mean, because if you see, you or us like doing this line of work, obviously there's a ton of tools, equipment, manufacturers, entities that all kind of are behind the scenes. It's like how many people? Everyone knows Train York and all that stuff. How many people know Pitco and Rationale and Alto-Shaam and all that stuff? So that's a huge avenue for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not brands or whatever. I mean, we'll do whatever we can. So, I mean, it's definitely some things I want to work towards. I mean, you got any podcast social media goals?
I guess right around the same. I'd like to, commit a little more time on it and, come up with some ideas and, help you. Like I said, you would do instructional videos a lot better than I would. But, I can still do some of that stuff and just kind of put name out there and then help kind of promote it and get to that sponsorship level. I was trying to go to AHR, but I don't know.
I was hoping it would work out. I mean, I should have asked you. We could have got bigger. I got an Airbnb. I could have got a bigger one. We could have thrown in on it. It was cheaper than a hotel room because I waited too late to book the hotel. So I think next year it's Chicago.
Okay.
I said if it's Chicago, we definitely gotta go. But I'll be there this year, and I'm gonna have some. I'll have a bunch of stickers. I'm gonna order some more stickers. I may have a couple hats. The hats are a little expensive, so I have made, but I haven't. Yeah. I'm not buying them in bulk, so I just have like 2 or 3 here made at a time. I appreciate that, Cool with Kraus. Cool with Kraus has got a great channel. He's a good dude, so I'm trying to make things happen, buddy. Service calls? No, me and Dusty do not work for the same company. We live in the same state, about 2.5 hours away. He works out of Louisville. I work out of Indianapolis. Completely different companies. Both Safesa type companies, but nope, we don't work together. Jose Abarca, he asked if super chats were set up. I don't think they're set up. I think I have to be monetized. I don't have enough of all that stuff set up yet, so I need to look into it. I'll see. I appreciate it though, buddy. Matthew Ventosa, we service and install a lot of Rationale. Man, so do I. It comes and goes. We got a lot going in with the Walmart neighborhood stores. We install a lot of Rationales for those, so it's fun. It's definitely different. That's why I do installs a lot. I like that. So
I saw a couple of the iCombies yesterday. I didn't work on them, but I was in there working on a kettle, and they're right next to 2. I think they're 2021 iCombies. Rationale. Pretty nice. Yep,
that's the newest model. Man, I don't have any training on them. I work on them. I've been trained on Rationale for years. I just haven't. I tend to like an online, like couple hour thing. They're pretty cool. I've done some work on them. I'll install them just because I pretty much install everything we have. That's just my role. Is I just make it look better. I just do it a little faster than everybody else. So I kind of just take over all the installs. So XOF, being young and running calls by yourself is the hardest thing. For me, it felt like I had to prove myself to whoever I was speaking about their unit. It takes time. Yeah, being young, it's intimidating, trying to explain, what you found was a unit to people. Especially most people in the restaurant are going to be older than you, especially if you're young. Just have confidence. I tell everybody I train, just talk to them like with respect and like you know them and explain it to them the way, you want something explained to you, and it goes a long way.
I believe in the over-informative word vomit. That's what I call it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Tell them 100% what you found, what you did, what you're going to do, what that does. And then a lot of the time that leaves no doubt. You prove it because they can't argue with it and they trust you more because you're not like, oh, this part's broke, let me get a part. Because then they're like, well, what the heck's going on? Yeah.
So I do the same thing in my notes, man, because if your manager's going to call you 2 months or something when a customer has a complaint or they're arguing a bill and they want to ask you what you did to justify that time and you can't remember it, you're screwed. So I always tell everybody, write a freaking book on your notes. I mean, you can do talk to text, whatever you can, go above and beyond. If you can't remember 2 months for what you did today, you better have it in writing. That way you don't have to worry about it. Guess what? My boss never calls me because he knows exactly what I did because it's in writing. I locked and tagged the unit out. I isolated the water. I I went in there, I changed the solenoid. I mean, I'm that detailed. Yeah, it takes me a little longer, but I don't have to worry about people going behind me and not understanding it. So
exactly.
that's cool, Philip. You're 26-year-old, been in the field for 7 years. Your company's having you train new hires, and it's always interesting to see who comes in the field. What's funny about that is I interviewed for a guy that owned his own company one time, and he told me I didn't know what I was doing. 2 years later, he came to work for us, and I had to train him on how to do our paperwork and our procedures. So
you hit him with it. You don't know what you're doing, man.
Dude, me and him butted head for years, and I was always respectful. But I'd go behind him, and he was bad about leaving temporary tasks and stuff. I was like, dude, you can't leave these on here. You can't leave these on here. And one day I was like, dude, I'm lead tech. That's my roles. Hey, you can't do this. You got to fix it. And I was like, hey, I sent an email, tagged my boss in it and him, and he was like, here, you reply back all capital letters. Do not send me another one of these emails or else. I was like, ooh. I was like, is that a threat? I was like, it's a threat to me. And my boss was like, that's not a threat. I'm like, oh, that's a threat. It's like, you just don't want to deal with it. He's like, that's not a threat. It was clearly a threat.
It's usually threatening.
Yeah, or else in all capitals is a threat to me. If I was to say it to my boss, I'd have been in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should have said it to him.
Yeah.
Take care of it, or else. It wasn't a threat.
Thin wall and the rational hose. Yeah. Well, what happens is that chemical and lime scale and stuff actually erodes that hose out from the inside, and that's when it ruptures. Great Dane. And if Rational actually has a PM procedure, and that hose is supposed to be changed yearly. So that's what leads to a lot of those hoses rupturing. And when it leaks, it sprays that water and that cleaner all over the blower motors and takes them out. So that's actually, if you look in my videos, the intro videos of the podcast, or some of my videos, I had that little intro reel I used. There's actually a Rational hose that's split and spraying right into a blower motor.
Was that the one that was it killed that blower motor? Was shorting out on you?
Oh yeah. It was that one was a mess, and they paid to fix it. So,
jeez, yeah, I remember seeing that video. That's a whole slew of problems from just a little bit of water.
Yeah. So, Adrian for Reliable HVACR. So 100%. Yep. Adrian's a good dude. So all right. So we went through our goals. So how I want to keep track of my goals is I'm not trying to beat myself up on it, but I have that book, the same book, and I write down every date. And if I stuck to my diet, I put that on there. If I exercise, I put that on there. If I read, I put that on there. So that's how I plan to keep track of my goals. It helps me maintain accountability. Like I came home, I didn't work out this morning before I went to work. I came home at like 5, and I didn't want to do it. I played some video games for like an hour with my buddy because he wanted to play video games. So I got on for like an hour, played video games. And I made pre-workout, and I sat back down, and I chugged it. I was like, oh, too late. I have to do it now because I'm going to be jacked if I don't. So I went out there, and I threw around some bench press, some other stuff. So I got it in. But, if I see that I didn't do that when that's my goal every day, I'm going to know that I failed that day, and I don't want to fail that day. So I'm just writing down everything I did. If I put a video out, if I put a short out, I put that out. If I put a promotion video out for the podcast, I put that on there. If I put a promotion video out on a piece of equipment or tools, I put that on there. So I'm just tracking everything in this book, and hopefully I fill this book out by the end of the year. Who knows? But that's just how I plan on doing it. You doing anything cool to track yours, or just in the back of your mind? Or
well, listen, the back of my mind doesn't work.
No.
It's putting notes because I'll forget. But I took your advice, and I got a journal just to write everything in, goals, and then also goals, and things that went well, things that didn't go well. And also just like daily accomplishments and achievements, because it feels good to write it down because you're like, man, it's a bad day today. And then you can look back at yesterday. You're like, well, yesterday I did this, so I could do this today. And like I said, it's all the mindset, man. 100% just that positivity.
Yeah, I just got to stay. Like if I do it, I need to write it down the right thing, because sometimes I'll leave the book out in my truck, and I'm like, shit, what do I do? When I got home, I have to go out there. I'm like, I caught myself the other day. I just went out there and got the book. I was like, I was going to go to bed. I was like, no, I got to write this down because I don't want to try to remember it tomorrow, that kind of stuff. What's going on? Yeah. Hughes Man HVAC. He's a good dude. He was the first person that ever had me on a live stream to help break my live stream virginity, I guess. I'll be nice. He's got a great channel. He does a lot of cool stuff, so I appreciate him coming on and stopping by. That's about it. All I have for goals. I just wanted to share some goals, how I plan on keeping track of goals and what they are. I just want to be a better person all around. Like you said earlier, the positivity just kind of grows. So.
No, that's what it's all about, man. Everything stems from a plan and a positive mindset. So that's kind of where I think we're both going, and everyone should be. Hopefully, no one's like, I want to be more negative this year.
I'm about to find someone to make you a logo for your Instagram or for this podcast and throw your logo up in here somewhere.
I know, man. I was gonna make one, but I haven't.
I want to get a character made, so maybe we just get characters we can just throw up here at the top too. We'll have the podcast logo and our characters. So I won't keep you any longer, man. I just want to get on here and make it short and sweet and just talk about the new year and stuff. If you guys need anything or want a topic or anything, I got a couple things. Just reach out to us on social media, website, Instagram, all the places right here on YouTube. So next week, I have someone from Garland that's willing to come on. Garland Clamshell, he's a pretty cool dude. He's willing to come on and talk about some stuff. So I need some questions about Garland Clamshell Grill or Garland in general. He's a wealth of knowledge. He agreed to come on and help us out. So I need to get some questions over to him this week and set something up for next week. So that's probably what we'll be doing next week is going over Garland. If I don't go live, we'll at least record it and put it up later, but we'll see. And then also, I'm wearing this hat to support my buddy Chris Stevens, HVACR videos. If you haven't seen my YouTube video, you need to go look at it. Chris Stevens does an end of year giveaway every year, and it's kind of crazy because I actually won something from him like years ago when it was one of the first ones he done. And he's doing it again this year, but this year he put a twist on it. He's giving the money to creators like me to give away to other people. So I have a contest going on YouTube. Go find that post and enter that contest. It's a $400 gift card to True Tech Tools. That's an electronic gift card. So I'm running it through the 12th, and then me and Dusty probably scroll through that list and maybe write the names down and put them in a randomizer, and we'll just draw someone on that list. So you get a chance to win $400 to True Tech Tools. There's a lot of great tools on there. You get $400. Also, I have a $400 gift card to spend at True Tech Tools, and I'm going to get something to try out on my channel, and I'm macing it down to Dusty and let Dusty play with it too. So we got to figure out what we're going to get. I've had my eye on a couple different things, but it's up in the air, so we'll see. Me and Dusty probably need to get on that website and look around, see what we can find. But I'm not opposed to sharing it with Dusty for a little bit, let him play some new tools too.
That'll work, man.
I got extra set of Job Link Pros I may send you down, let you play with if you want to try them out.
Yeah, I use the Testos.
Do you? Okay. Did you
I'm not a huge. I don't know, because I used to have the Job Links, the Philippines, and I like those quite a bit more. But then I got the Testos. Testos aren't bad. The only thing I have a problem with is they won't stay synced. I have a problem with them timing out and coming off. Like on the probes are good, but when I'm actually using it on the app, they come out of sync often. So, but maybe that's an issue I need to fix.
Yeah, I use the Philippines. I use the Philippines app. Mainly, to be honest, I use MeasureQuick app. I like that app. It's a lot more in depth and stuff. So I use it. I haven't had any problems.
MeasureQuick's free too, isn't it?
Yeah, and Philippines has got a free version. They want you to do their version, but I just use the free version and I do use it. But I like the Philippines because like multiple people can connect to it. So if I have a trainee, they can connect to it too and see it. So make sure you guys jump on Hughes Man HVACs. I believe he's part of the giveaway too. Nice. So Zach Silky says he's had the same issues with Testos. So it may be a thing. How old are they? They're the latest version, or?
I can't remember the exact model. I think about a year and a half old, about 18 months. But like I said, it depends. They have days where they work fine, and most of the time, man, like if I set them there, if I close out of the app for a second, I have to turn off the probes and resync it to the app.
Really?
I have to keep the app open the whole time, which kind of gets annoying if you're, working, in a kitchen and on a salad cooler. I can't keep it, keep my phone setting out. But.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So Philip Bustamante, you can submit your questions at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Just put Garland in the title and just send them on over, and I'll get to them, and I'll get this sent over to the guy and see what we can put together for next week. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, Dusty. I appreciate your time tonight. Enjoy some time with your wife tonight before you go to bed. I see you looking over there occasionally, so she's either she's watching you or she's watching the feed, one of the two. So, but I appreciate your time and appreciate everything you do for us. So,
alrighty, man, I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, look forward to diving into this and making it a bigger year.
Oh yeah, take care, guys.
Alrighty, man, we'll see you.